Hi, this is Richard from Untitled, and what we're going to look at today is cash flow forecasts, and we're going to build it in Microsoft Excel. Now, if you're not sure what a cash flow forecast is, it's a way of actually showing how much money your business is going to earn and how much it's going to spend, usually over the space of 12 months. Now, to create this one, we're going to keep it nice and simple, and you should be able to use your Excel skills to expand it later on to make it more advanced or add specialised features. Okay, we're going to get going on this now, and we're going to start off by just typing in April in B1 to start our tax year. Okay, and we're just going to drag that across all the way until we get March. And then in N1 we're just going to type in totals, so we're going to work out how to use that later on. In A1 I'm just going to put the current tax year, which is 2019 to 2020. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in receipts here, and these are the money that I'm making throughout a year. I'm going to give myself a bit of space as well, and a bit further down I'm going to type in totals again. And what we have now is we have two totals. One total's going to do the monthly income, and then the other is going to do the yearly income for that particular item. Okay, the next thing I need is I actually need my payments or my expenses. Fortunately, there's always more expenses than there are payments to a business. Okay, I'm going to leave myself quite a lot of space now so that I can go down, and so that I can actually type in the totals for all of my payments. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to actually do is I'm going to type in change in bank balance. It's going to work out how my bank balance has changed. My opening bank balance, so that'll be the amount that I have at the start of a month. And then I'm going to put on the closing bank balance, which of course will be what I've got at the end of each month. Now, what we have so far is we've got the general overview of the main headers for this. Now, what I'm doing is I'm just going to format a few more things to make sure that everything is visible, the right widths, just so that later on I've got enough space to do what I want to do. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make this look good. So I'm going to choose a colour palette, choose what I want to put. Okay, so what we're going to do from here is we need to add some colours basically to make this spreadsheet look easier to read and really highlight out certain areas like the headers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select all of the headings at the top, and I'm going to give them a nice dark green colour with white writing to make the writing stand out a bit more. And then what I'm going to look at doing is I'm going to format a few other things. I'm actually going to format this area here in a lighter green. These are going to be like the subtitles of all the individual receipt names. My total, I'm going to make that a dark green again with white writing. And then over here, now everything that will be a total, I'm going to make it again dark green, white writing to make it stand out. This way I'm just creating kind of a border as well. Now, then I'll do the same for this set of totals. And I'm also going to put a final bottom border just underneath the closing bank balance, just to kind of frame it all at the moment. And of course all of the payments, I'm going to pick a different light shade of green for all of the subtotals. And there we go. Right now we've got the formatting done. It looks now like a spreadsheet that we can put some actual data into. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to do all of the individual totals for the different payments and receipts. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the totals for all of April. Now we do that by just getting that auto sum and selecting the cells that we want to use. Now, good thing about Excel is we can just use that little handle to pull right the way across. Then we can do exactly the same thing for the totals for our payments. And then again, we can just drag that right the way across. Now, what we're going to do next is we're going to do the actual totals for the year for each individual payment or receipt. As with last time, we can just simply use the auto sum feature to achieve this. Now, once we've got that, we're going to drag it all the way down, so right down to the other set of totals. And that's it, really. We've got all of our totals good and ready to go. Right, so now what we're going to do is going to do the change in bank balance. Now, this is a very simple sum. It's just going to be the receipt minus the payments, and that will give us how much the bank balance has changed on any given month. Okay, the opening bank balance, well, for April, that's going to be whatever you started out with in the business, or if you're carrying over from a previous year, whatever you've currently got in the bank. Closing bank balance is actually going to be your change in bank balance added to the opening bank balance. So if your change in bank balance is a negative number, this will reduce your overall bank balance. Very simple, really. Now, the next month's opening bank balance needs to be equal to the closing bank balance of the previous month. There we go, dead simple. Now, all we need to do is drag that formula across for every single month up until March. Same with everything else. And there we have it, that's our sums all done for this. Now we can just very quickly test whether or not this works properly by throwing in some figures. I'm going to start with an opening bank balance. I'm going to put a few random numbers in here. It doesn't really matter what these are doing or what they're for. Only that we can prove that our spreadsheet is calculating, adding things up properly, giving us a realistic bank balance. If you wanted to, you could do this maths for yourself, just to double check that everything is correct. Okay, that's it really. I'll just wipe this clean so it's all ready for next time. Zero out my bank balances, and there we go. Now, just one last little thing that we probably want to do about now, and that will be just making all of these numbers currency. Now, dead simple thing to do. We just right click, and then from there we're going to go down to format cells. Click on accounting rather than currency, and then you can set whichever currency is in your area. I'm going to stick with pounds obviously, but US dollars, pesos, whatever you like really. Then of course stick to 2 decimal places unless you're really dealing with very small currency values. That's it.